Sorry, ladies. I'm trying to see if this camera is gonna work. It's a little slow. But hey, girls, what's up? I just got home. It's 10 o'clock, 10:11. I'm exhausted. Been I woke up at 7 this morning, I think. Been in school since 3. And we started studying until like from 4 until 9. Straight up statistics. I thought I was going to die. I was like, I gotta go. We had to leave. I'm like, I'm so drained, and I still have to read. I'm tired. You guys, graduate school is not a joke. All right, ladies. So I wanted to come on and make a video, talk to you, ladies, and like Marlene, yeah, I like to talk to y'all. No, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm gonna tell you this. I'm going through something right now. If you've noticed, if you should be able to tell Marlene's going through something by how my videos flow. I am. I really am. But I'm determined to not give up, and I'm determined to not let people not just get to me, but just like act like they have some type of say on my destiny. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm making this video today is because I really want to encourage you ladies to really and sincerely go after your dreams, your hobbies, your passions, your studies, whatever it is you set your mind to. I really want you guys to fight for your dreams. You understand what I'm saying? And I really want you guys to also, if you're mothers, if you have a child or children, I really want you to not let yourself be defined by motherhood. You understand what I'm saying? Because the reality of it is, and that's what something I tell my husband, and I'm gonna tell y'all too, it's the fact that kids do not belong to us. Like me, I don't belong to my mom. But I can never deny that she's the woman who gave me life. Like if you've ever seen her, we kind of look the same also. So it's like my twin. But kids don't belong to us. I think God gives us children so we can be steward, and we have to raise them according to his word so they can also go out and make a positive impact on the world. But eventually our kids are going to leave the nest. They're going to go to college. They may meet a wife or fiance, whatever, in college, get married, not come home as often. They're going to have their lives. And if you've raised your kids to be successful, if you've raised your kids well, you want them to have their own. Tell that to my mother-in-law. You want them to have that woman. See, with my mother-in-law, being African, if you're narrow-minded, like if you are xenophobic, narrow-minded, and if you allow like one bad apple to like ruin the batch, you would really hate African American women. You understand what I'm saying? You really would. But you can't do that. But I'm going to get to that later. You have to take people as they are and understand that hurt people hurt people. You understand? So, like Jesus said, if they knew better, they would do better. So, your kids are going to leave you and they're going to have their own, And I would also tell her that your son's wife does not become your competition, nor is she your wife, your son's, like, you're not your son's wife, therefore your son's wife is not the mistress. You have to let your kids go. Not go like, oh, I'll never see you again, but you have to let your kids go. You have to let your kids have their lives, and you have to do the best that you can to encourage family. For me, being African, or being Ivorian, since Africa is the continent, being from the Ivory Coast, being Western African, sometimes people always want to depict Africa as like HIV/AIDS, refugee camps, kids with the bloated stomachs, kids with like, mucus running down their noses and things like that. But then they don't talk about people like Barack Obama, whose daddy is from Kenya and has a PhD or had a PhD from Harvard in economics. You know what I'm saying? They don't talk about people like Lupita Nyong'o, whose dad also is from Kenya and also has a PhD. You know what I'm saying? Like when we have our holiday dinners and dinner parties, if you come to my house or like the family house when we have events and stuff, most of my family members are doctors. Doctors that can actually save lives, or doctors that have PhD. A lot of people have PhD in economics. My dad himself is a civil engineer. Everybody, pilots, everybody here is in my family, are highly educated. You know, my cousins are also highly educated. My little brothers are also highly educated. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like, okay, sure, whatever. You know, so, but what people really fail to mention about Africa and why I think we are very wealthy, it's not money, but it's the fact that we value family. Family is everything to us. You know, family is everything. And that is why when there's a problem, people sit down and people have a conversation. That's why also, before people get married, you pay dowry and stuff. You know, most Western African countries have dowries, even though some ethnicities do not practice them as much as others, or some just like, oh, whatever, that's like ancient tradition. But it still remains the fact that families get together and they agree, okay, so we about to do this, right? Okay, so something happens, people come down, people have a conversation. You understand what I'm saying? So, but I digress. You know, I'm serious, ladies. Like, you know, whatever you go through in life, in your marriage, or somebody that you love, like your sister, your brother's marriage, or, you know, anybody's marriage that you possibly have a say in or you can influence, I honestly think that you should always, always advocate for family. Always be a champion for communication and for peace. You know what I'm saying? What you would not want to have happen for you, don't wish it on other people. Because what goes around comes around. You understand what I'm saying? Always, you know, encourage people to sit down and have a conversation. Even with your kids. If your kids are fighting, if you see that after a few days they're still not talking to each other, make them sit down and make them talk. Because one day you're going to be an old woman. You know what I'm saying? If your kids don't learn to communicate, forgive each other, and realize that they're family, they may put your butt in the old people's home and never come see you. And then when you die, instead of mourning you, they're going to be fighting over your stuff. You know? So communication is really, really, seriously, seriously important. Does that make sense? But let me go back to my topic at hand. And it also has to do with the fact that Marlena is from the Ivory Coast. You see, ladies, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this before, but so being in the Ivory Coast, like Ivory Coast, you know, before it was a French colony. My mom's, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, yeah, my mom's mom, you know, when she was like a teenager, she was hired to work as a maid. If you've ever watched the movie Maid, it is that's what it is. It's like, you know how the what's her name? The lady, the main actress, and her friend, the big lady who was getting beat by her husband. But they, you know how they would coach the young girls. If you've never watched Maids, you should. I watched that. I thought about my grandmother, and I was crying the whole time. So my grandmother, and I call her Meme. You know, she's a young woman, and she was raised. You know, she went to work for this French family. It was a white family, and they wanted her. I mean, she wasn't like the maid, but she was like the nanny. Like she would play with the kids. They had two kids. That's what she would tell me. I think one of them was named Francois. Like she never forgot, right? And then when she got older, she got really pretty and curvy. Because my grandmother, her hair was down to her like back right here. I used to tell my friends in kindergarten and like first grade that my grandmother was white, and they believed me. But you know, she left. But when she was working there, because they didn't want her to teach their kids broken French, they put her through school. So my grandmother learned how to read and write. That's how she learned how to read and write. And all the money she had, like she was making, she sent all her brothers to school. So when you like, she had about I think 3 or 4 uncles, but some of them lived inside like the country, so I didn't get to know them. But a few of them I got to know, and all of them are either well, another one died. He died like right after she passed away. I think he can take it. So but he was a superintendent. I guess my grand uncle, he was always, his name was Tonton Jean, which is John, Uncle John. Like he was always at our house. Yeah, so him, I knew him very well. I knew his wife and everything. Like I knew him very well growing up. That was like her favorite brother because he was the youngest one. He was a school teacher, and then she had another brother. She has another brother. He's still alive. He's a school principal. So you know, and I always grew up knowing that. My grandmother, she was also a businesswoman. She married wealthy, I guess, because my mom's dad had a lot of money. She married wealthy, but she always had her own. My grandmother was like, she was like one of the first ladies to drive in Ivory Coast. I mean, like, she was just a go getter. You know, she always had her own businesses. She always did her thing. Like, You know, she did a lot. She did a whole lot. And that's my boo. I love my grandmother. I really do. I grew up loving her. I'm sure that when my mom was pregnant, she really took care of her, you know. And that's something I also think that my mother in law doesn't understand. It's like, Marlene, yeah, no, I'm serious. Because when I was pregnant, ladies, she never called me. She never called me to say hi. She never called me to see how I was doing. She never called me to like give me pregnancy advice. She never called me to see. No, she never did. She never did. You know, so when my son came out, I mean, right now his dad like kind of forces him to go to his parents and to, you know, look for his nana and stuff. But it's not clicking. And he's been doing this for a minute, and it's not clicking. When he hears my mom, like last time we were having this conversation, he was asking about his grandma, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know where she is. I can't find her." He was like, "But she has a cell phone, and he's only 3." Like he's so in love with her, it makes no sense, and it reminds me of how much I love my grandmother. You understand? And people can force themselves on children, but it's like babies are spiritual. And if when they were in the womb, they never heard your voice, they never felt that you cared about their mom, they never felt like you wanted them to come. They never, because you guys, the stuff she would say to my husband when I was pregnant, I swear, I came to America and I discovered witchcraft. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. And the reason why I'm going to be so open with you guys tonight, it's not to ridicule my marriage or my relationships with my in-laws, but I want you guys to listen to my story. You understand what I'm saying? I want you guys to listen to my story and to see and to look at your life and understand why you cannot give up. You know what I'm saying? Treat people well, but when it comes to your ambitions and your dreams, of course, I'm not telling you to want to be a gold digger or a stripper or nothing crazy. I'm saying like you want to go to school, you want to start your business, you want to get another degree, like things that your entire family, especially your children, can be proud of you, can benefit from. You know, even your great grandkids will hear of it and they're going to be inspired. Like even though many of us are not related to Harriet Tubman, but when we hear about her struggle with the Underground Railroad, we're proud of her, right? We're very proud. You know, I'm not related to Michelle Obama, but when I see her story, when I went to Princeton and I saw her picture there, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, many of us are not related to Oprah, but it's like she's our aunt and we sharing her success because she made it this far, you know, so you want to do things like that. You understand? So I'm going to be very open with you guys, and I want you ladies to be encouraged, you know, part of my path, or I think my calling in my ministry is going to be, because I've talked about that on my Instagram, my ministry is going to be for married women, especially married women who are going through hard times in their marriage, you know, cultural differences, in-laws, and, you know, sister-in-law, especially it's really hard also when you're married and you have sister-in-laws who are not married, you know, who are not married, who are not that successful, who are, you know, still looking for themselves and especially looking for real happiness in life. So they kind of look at the fact that you're married and they want to hurt you or sabotage you and work with their mom in cahoots to hurt you. You understand? Like, and the thing is this, I'm gonna say this, just because somebody is married does not mean everything is always perfect. So that's why I say, like, you should never envy anybody's marriage. Okay? So yeah, that's what it's going to be about, you know, so you can be strong. All right? So, you know, like I said with my grandma. So, but she didn't go to like, you know, middle school, high school, whatever. But she knew how to read, write, and she knew how to, you know, my grandma, that's why me and like my other cousins, like I never had to learn like how to speak my mom's tongue because my grandmother spoke French, so I never had to learn anything. You know? And then my mom got married, my dad, whatever. They had me, Marlene, yes, you know. And Africa, like in Ivory Coast back then, it was a little different. It's like if you got pregnant, you got married, whatever, you kind of stopped all your schooling. You know, you just stopped. But you know, my mom, like I always say, natural born hustler. She's just like her mom, entrepreneurial. Like, you know, she was always working, always had her own businesses. You know, always traveled France, Gabon. Like she did her thing. Like there was a time where she even left me with my grandmother. You know, yeah. You know, I always say, even in our culture, we always say like the firstborn does not belong to the parents, but he or she belongs to the grandparents, especially the maternal grandparents, you know, and the fact that the parents are still trying to find their own footing in life. So they're like, oh, go to your grandparents until we come back, you know, because she had internships that she had to do that she went and did. So it was me and my cousin, who is my mom's older sister, my Aunt Josephine. My cousin's name is Sandra. Yes. And me and Sandra were always together with my grandmother and her older brother, Bolan. So it was like always three of us, and we were my grandmother, and she had a monkey. His name was Emile. Marlene, I have so many monkeys in my life, it makes no sense, you know? So growing up, I saw that, you know, and then we moved to Burkina Faso. My mom had a hard time adjusting when we moved there because the weather, the climate, the people, everything. She was like, every time I would come home from school, she fell down on her belly. It was always something. Then finally, my dad sent her back to Abidjan to have the baby because that way, like everybody was there because we are Ivorian, you know, and she had a good time. I mean, it was easier for her. Then she came back later on, but my mom has always been she's a natural born hustler and she's a ride or die type of woman. She really is, you know. But I know because my mom always wanted to be an attorney. She did. That was her dream. That's something she really wanted to do, you know. So when you come here, when I first came here, like in 1996 or something, like I didn't speak a word of English. I mean, I knew a little words and stuff, but it wasn't like I came before that summer. I was here the summer before we actually moved here. So I was here a year before, and then we finally moved here. But I wasn't speaking like I'm speaking to you now. You know, like I was like schedule, chicken, kitchen. You know, I just have to tell you my ESL story. You understand what I'm saying? So your girl gets here, and as Africans, and even Ivorians, we're not even as bad as Nigerians. Nigerians, they go hard when it comes to school. They go hard, honey. Harvard, Yale, blah, blah. The Nigerians go hard. If I could, I would change my name to Ijoma Okofor, okay, from Ogun State. Hey, you know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. If President Okofor was here, they wouldn't be kidnapping no 200 girls from no dang school. What's his name? Jonathan Goodluck his name needs to be Jonathan Badluck. He needs to go sit down somewhere. He was able to send the military in the Ivory Coast when we were going through our things with the elections, but he can't send the military in his own country to find these 200 girls that are missing. Please, anybody got time for that? But anyways, you know, so we come here. I did, you know, going through the school system. I did good. You know, I graduated high school. I had an advanced degree diploma, and then I had the AP diploma with distinction because of my grades on the AP thingies, whatever. I took French. That was a 5. You know, then we went to did the little bachelor thing. But this is where the stuff comes to. Because me, when I was 7, I remember when I was 7, I would doodle like my little hotels that I wanted to own. You know, I tell you, with my mom, my grandmother, my mom, I was going to be an entrepreneur. Like that, you know, but then I was like, how am I going to get the money? And I was like, oh, I want to be a banker maybe? I wasn't sure because my mom worked in banking when we were in the Ivory Coast. Then when we got to the AP, like AP US history, you know, if you ever took that class, you'll get to the part where, you know, it gets to the Industrial Revolution, America needs money, Teddy Roosevelt's going to go see JP Morgan and ask him for some dollars. And I was like, dang it, you got the president, and not just any president. If you know, if you know U.S. history, you know Teddy Roosevelt, he's like one of them, like, you know, remember the Alamo, you know, Buffalo Soldiers. Like, that's Teddy Roosevelt, man. Like, he crazy. No, he really is crazy. Like, that man, he's a G. Like, he a gangster type of president. Lincoln, he's but Teddy Roosevelt, though, he is gangster. Like, you know, I would have been afraid of him. Like, he gangster. So for me to see someone of, like, Teddy Roosevelt's stature, not put the whole president thing aside, I think himself as a person, he was very intimidating, you know? So you have that type of person who comes to you to ask you for money, that takes a special type of person. I'm like, he must have been rich. Like, real rich, because it gets to a point where JP Morgan is going to make more money than Vanderbilt, you know? So I'm like, dang, I want to be like that too. And then he was an investment banker. So I was like, I want to be an investment banker too, you know? So there I was, you know, I was like, I'm going to go to college and study finance and accounting. I'm going to be an investment banker. I'm going to work on Wall Street. I'm going to work for JP Morgan and Chase, you know? And then so when I get to college, you know, take the little accounting thing. But then the curriculum at Mason for the School of Management, because School of Management is those people who do finance, accounting, and MBAs, all that kind of good stuff. There's only one math course, which was it's Math 108, which is business calculus, right? And I was like, I remember how I got played in high school by not taking enough math credits. So I was like, no, let me do it the hard way. So I'm going to go take calculus, whatever. But the thing is, your girl, I graduated from high school only with algebra 2. So I didn't take pre-cal. I didn't take trigonometry. So I had to start from the bottom, which was I had to go take a placement test. Fear. Marlene, I postponed taking that test like for 3 semesters. Every time, like, oh gosh, I can't. I'm gonna fail. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail. Oh, I'm gonna fail. You know, I remember the day I finally sat there and took the test. It was like when I took my driver's license test. It was like every question I was like, oh, I was like, oh my gosh, I failed. You know, it was just, oh, I do too much. I really do. My mom was like, where did you get the spirit of fear like that? And then I'm trying to make this video quick. I'm just talking, you guys. Just if you know me, whatever. If you care, you'll sit there and just listen. So I finally took it. Then I had to go take 105, which was pre-calculus. I said, Lord have mercy, I'm going to fail. Did I fail? No. I told Professor, yeah, that's my professor. Professor Grenfield. That woman right there, I love her to pieces. So I was like, Professor, I think I'm going to fail your class. She was like, why? I was like, because I don't understand you. She's like, are you kidding me? Like, you're so smart, and I love the way you think. And I was like, who is she talking to? And I remember I told my mom, I was like, I don't know if she lied to me, or I don't even know what she said to me, but that made me change my major. That's when I changed my major from accounting, finance to math, and I became a math major. You know, so then I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. It was still in my head, like that's my goal. You know, then one time one of my grandmothers came from Abidjan because I'm my grandma. We got lots of grandmothers. You know, she came and I don't know. She started talking about like PhDs and stuff, and I was like, yeah, maybe I could do it because at first I just wanted to stop at the masters. So when she talked about it, I was like, yeah, I could get a PhD. Why not? You know. So here's goes my little self. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna go get a PhD, whatever. You know, because yeah, that was my thing. You know, I'm gonna be a banker. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna do the math, and then you're gonna, you know, find your way into financial engineering or something. You know, because that's what it was called. That's what I wanted to do, financial engineering, because the salaries were crazy, like $800,000. Like these people make so much money. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to be like J.P. Morgan and Chase. You know, so somewhere in those undergraduate years, I met my husband. You understand what I'm saying? Met my husband, got married, pregnant, baby, all that good stuff. You know, so I get to a point in my life as a married woman and as a mother to a beautiful baby. Y'all saw him last time during the holidays. That we did a video during the holidays. Like, you get to a point now where it's like my husband expects me to quit because of changes in his life. I mean, I can't. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Like, what? What you say? What that Negro say again? I mean, huh? What? It's at that moment I thought he was. No, I'm serious. It's like, what? Hold up, wait a minute. Especially when you know that the things he's saying, it's like somebody else's mouth that's talking, but you see his lips moving and it comes from his body, but you just see his mama. you see what I'm saying? I'm just like, boo. When you met me, I was in school. You feel me, son? The first night you met me, I told you about all the scholarships I had and whatever I was doing, my research and stuff. I told you I wanted to get a PhD. You heard right, because English is your first language, right? All right, I'll holla. So when you hear me say that and you don't walk away and you pursue and you tell your parents, oh, look, she won this scholarship and she got this scholarship, da da da. Because at that time when I met him, I had just got like, I think a semester before or something, I had gotten a $5,000 scholarships from NSBE. Baby! Ching ching! Okay? Baby, that GPA was high, okay? I mean, I graduated magna cum, like 3.8. But still, and I did a thesis, so I got honors in the major. You understand what I'm saying? So you understand, like, hey, you know, you know what I'm saying? When I was married, pregnant, whatever, I didn't stop school. No, I went through school. I was still in school. I was actually doing research. Actually, yes, I was doing research. It was funded by the NSF. I was doing research and stuff like that. You know, the day my water broke, I was in school. I was driving myself because he wouldn't drive me. Though I gotta work. You know, I had my little pillow, put that, and I would just like drive myself to school and whatever. That day I had class. I was in school. It was a Tuesday. Came home around like watched the Teen Mom or 16 and Pregnant, something like that. My water broke around midnight. When I had my son, I didn't stop school. I took 1 week off. And that semester, I remember I was taking computer science classes. It was in Java. Then I had an advanced calculus course. I mean, like, my load was full. Marlene, I didn't take a break. I've not taken a break. Nope, I did not. You know, I was in school. When I graduated, I got graduated this summer. I got accepted at Cornell for research at Cornell. So I left them and I went to Cornell for my research. You know, yeah, I ain't gonna be, you're not gonna define me by motherhood. We're gonna work as a team. But I'm not gonna, why? Because I'm the woman? Because I got breastises and you don't? No, it's teamwork, homie. It's teamwork. You understand what I'm saying? It's teamwork. Hey, holla at your girl. You understand what I'm saying? And so, yeah, even when we won when I got the other thing with Nesby, no, I just had my son. Yeah, we went there, picked up a big check, ka-ching, came back, took care of my son, did what I had to do, and in the summer I went to Cornell. It's this SMI math program, Summer Math Institute at Cornell. I was like, damn, you know. And I remember when my behind got to Cornell, you guys, I cried. I freaking cried. You don't even understand. You don't even understand. That's what some people are like, oh, Marlene's arrogant. Marlene's, nah, no, 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 no. When you know what your grandparents went through to have like a basic education to make sure that your parents could get there. Not even sometimes I talk about my dad's my granddad, my dad's father. You know, his name was Christophe in French. He went through a lot of shit. You know, my granddad, like, he was an orphan at 19, and the fact that my his mom, she was from a different village when she married his dad. So people treated her badly. I don't know if they even poisoned her. I don't know. They did something to her and she died. And here's my granddaddy, like, all of a sudden, because his dad didn't, like, he was, like, by himself having to take care of his younger siblings. So he, like, delved himself into books, you know, and he made a way for himself. Like, if I was able to come here into America because of my dad's job, you understand? And he's my dad works so hard. Ladies, my dad works so hard. My dad has worked so hard. My daddy works so hard. He works hard. I don't even see him. We don't even see him a lot because the things he does for his family. You understand what I'm saying? It breaks my heart, you know. But compared to my mom, my dad grew up really poor. Grew up really poor, like really poor, you know. And education, that's what my granddad put in him because my granddaddy was really smart, really, really smart. And he's the type of man that never wanted to be corrupt. Like, sometimes in life, you can get punished for doing the right thing. You understand what I'm saying? And the things I do academically, like, it's not just for me. You understand? I'm the oldest of my family. You know, my parents, they count for me. You know, it's like as Africans, it's like if something happens to either parents, knock on wood, you should be able to take care of your siblings. I have younger siblings, you know, so I have to work harder so that they know that if something happens, like, she can take care of them. That's how we're raised. That's how everybody is raised where I'm from. You understand? So when you come to a country like America where, like, school is free, I remember, like, even in the sixth grade, which is when I came here, and there was like a school bus that picked people up for free. I was in shock. Like, you don't pay for this, you know, because for us, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I have a non-for-profit, y'all. I have kids who wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They sit out in the middle of the night waiting for a bus because their school is like all the way down, God knows where. You understand? And then I have to think about the people who have paved the way for me. When I was in Cornell, when I went to Cornell, I cried. I cried for my grandmother. I cried for my both for my granddads. I cried, and I was like, I can't believe I'm here. I was like, I was telling my grandma, even though she's dead, I said, Mimi, look at where I brought your name. Look at where I came. Mimi, look, I'm here. I'm in these people's school. They wanted me to come here. You know, I think the thing is, I think sometimes because in America, people are afforded so many luxuries that they don't like. When you see something all the time, it becomes like trifling to you. When you see something that you don't have often, it's very, very, very valuable to you. Cornell was an insane experience. And I was like, wow, I want my son to come here. Their biology department is ridiculous. It's like I don't even know how many buildings. It's ridiculous, ridiculous. And I was there. You know, so when you cannot, because you have a child or because you're married, just give up on who you are. I've seen too many of my aunts do it. I've seen too many women that I love do it. And I was like, I'm not doing that to myself because I'm not doing that for even for my mom. I know every diploma that I get, it's hers too. It belongs to her. If I go here, like when I graduate magna cum laude from Mason. That's her victory. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the sisterhood. It's like that. I gotta do things for me, for my mom, like you, so that my daughter, it won't be like she won't like second guess herself. You understand what I'm saying? So I can't give up on school. I can't give up on school. And then the other thing was like YouTube, doing YouTube because I like I wanted to do YouTube. I love selling. I've always sold cosmetics. I've always done that. But with social media, it's a different way of selling, right? Huh? Or even the lashes. Like these are things my husband never encouraged me to do. Oh, well, you gonna stop doing this mess? Then you gonna stop. Well, he would actually use something else, not the word mess. The words that start with the S. Always putting stuff down that I would do, like always discouraging me. At first, I was like, oh, maybe he doesn't want me to lose money. But then it was like, no, he just doesn't want me to do it. And I did it. I kept on doing it. I wasn't going to stop doing it because he was not giving me a valid reason to not do it. And I was like, plus, if I'm doing something and I feel like it's going to work or it will work, why should I not do it? You know what I'm saying? So even as like, oh, but you love doing YouTube too much and da 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 da, it was always something. But I was like, no, I have to keep at it. Because think about it, ladies. You make videos about whatever you want and you get paid for that. Why not? Why not? You know, why not? You know. But then I realized that the reason why he also didn't want me to do it was because his mom, his sisters, because they're not fond of me and I don't really care for them. I'm not too emotionally invested to really care about whether they like me or not. People are just weird. Um, they would like come back to him, be like, "Oh, she did this. Oh, she posted this. Or she said this." Because I remember like one time when I did the collab with Ahsoken, right? Remember, if you remember the an intro, I said something like, "Oh, this is for what's his name? What's that boy's name? Jollof Rice Music." Oh, what's Lynx? Yes. I was like, oh, this is for Lynx. So then he's gonna call me and be like, oh, you're taking pictures with guys on Instagram. I said, who? Me, Marlene. I mean, it was just weird. I was like, who is he talking about? Then I was like, oh, them and them, them and them, okay. So I had to find him on my Twitter, and I had to block him. I had to find him on my Instagram. I had to block him. Facebook, I blocked him. You know, I had to just like block him because I'm like, what the heck is going on? But I kept at it though. Sure did. Sure did. Kept filling that hair. Hey, Marlena Mon. Hey, Person Fantasy. Sure did. And now we have the lashes, you know. When we came out with the website, oh, check out the website. Tell me how you like it. Never did. You know, never gave me feedback. At first, it would, like, before it would have hurt me, then I was like, whatever. I'm going to keep doing me. If you think you're, like, you know, I have one of my really good friends. She had something similar, you know. So I learned from her because I was there when she was going through her mess. And I was like, mm-mm. My friend, y'all, my friend gave up on school. If she wants to testify, she'll leave a comment if she feels like it. She gave up nursing school to go follow her husband, and God knows what, be an African submissive wife. You go ahead with that one. You know, then it got to a point where she was like, mm-mm. And he was like, what you mean, mm-mm? She said, mm-mm. What you mean, mm-mm? Mm-mm. You know, I'm not going to go too much into her business, but she was like, no, I have to go back to school. He wasn't happy. She was like, okay, oh well. And she went back to school. She's graduating, I think, this semester or next semester, something like that. You know, she gave up. I remember I was like, what are you doing? She wanted to be a housewife. You know, ladies, I'm telling you this. Please listen to me. Like, you know, for me, you should get that you have to do your tithes, your offerings, but please listen to me, you know. Or Shishi Gillette. I heard something, she's like, Marlene. I said, Shishi, go ahead and do it, okay? The worst thing that because the thing about Shishi herself, she loves Gillets. Like, she has so many of them. So I was like, Shishi, the worst case scenario, even if you don't sell your Gillet, because the first thing about Gillet is cloth. Cloth does not rot. Okay, you know, it's not going to rot. It's going to rot. Cloth does not rot, you know. It's going to be here forever and a day. But worst case scenario, even if you don't sell one Gillet, Shishi, at least you can wear it. So it's not like you've wasted your money, you know. Today, you can't stop Chick Gillet, honey. Chick Gillet's on another stratosphere, okay? She brought some caftan last time. They're all sold out. She made a video and people are coming like, oh my God, but they're sold out. They're sold out. Now she's losing her mind. How's she going to be able to get more stuff? You see? But she was so afraid. I said she should go ahead and do it, you know? Go ahead and do it, you know? So that's my thing to y'all today. Ladies, go ahead and do it. I don't care if your husband pouts. I don't care if your husband doesn't talk to you. I don't care if your husband feels like he wants to go run to his mama so they can talk about you. I don't care. You see, one thing that you have to learn, if you're African American, whatever you are, one thing you have to learn from your African friends, including me, is you have to be resilient. You understand? You have to be Africans. You kick us, we're here. You push us, we're here. You do this to us, we're here. You say, oh, go away, we're still here. Like roaches, okay? We're very, very resilient. You know why? Because it comes with faith. A lot of Africans are also Pentecostal. You know, it comes with faith. You understand? What you want to do, you know comes from God. It's going to school comes from God. I'm sorry. But, like, not like you change your major every 2 months. Now, that's something, that girl, now, you need to really sit down because that's wasted money, too. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to start a business, if you want to go back to school to do something so you can make more money and do this for your kids, whatever, baby, you have to do it. And it's not just for African American, it's for also for my African sisters because sometimes y'all come here and you get so overwhelmed with fufu and cooking and, you know, goat feet and, you know, pig feet in your, like, no, okay? There comes a time when they're going to have to eat a salad. All right? Because you have to go to school. You have to better yourself. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys, you come here, you don't even take ESL classes. You know what I'm saying? If something bad happens to you or if this man wants to leave you, sweetheart, you don't even speak English. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? You have to go to school. There are so many ways to go to school in America. You can go to school by mail, through online. You can go to school in physical school. You can start with just an associate. You can get a GED if you were living somewhere before where you didn't have access to, you know, being able to go to high school. You know what I'm saying? You have to better yourself. Do not watch my channel just about gossip and hair and makeup. No. I want to be surrounded by ladies who want to better themselves. You understand? Because at the end of the day, your children belong to you. Yes, they do. That's why when you go in the hospital, they put a name tag on you, name tag on that baby's foot. You know, when you want to check out, they be like, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, come back right here. Baggage claim for Marlene. Come get your child, honey. Come get your baby. Get your baby. They give you 3 days in the nursery. Y'all gotta go. Okay? And when you leave, you're like, oh, that's your baby girl. Don't forget your baby. Go with your baby. You know, your kids belong to you. And in life, you know, I don't care how much you think you love someone, you know someone, girl, you don't ever know nobody like the way Jesus knows people, okay? You never know what people have in store for you. And the thing is, you may choose your mate, but you don't choose your in-laws, okay? And like just like right now, what I'm discovering is what my in-laws had in store for me. You know, ladies, God is amazing. No, seriously, God is amazing. God is amazing. There is not a name that is higher than Jehovah Jireh. You understand? There is not any demonic disposition, any evil thoughts or evil scheme that can endure in front of the blood of Jesus or in front of the name of Jesus. You hear me? Nobody, if Jesus says, I have my hands on you and nobody is going to touch you, nobody is going to touch you. Do not fear. Do not be weary because God has your back. For the Bible says, before your foot even hits the rock, he is going to send his angels to carry you on their wings. Do not fear. Do not fear. You understand what I'm saying? Like last time we talked about Psalms 23 and like David said, you are walking through the valley of death. You're not going to stay there. So do not fear. Even Jesus didn't stay on the cross. They may have tortured him, but eventually he came down from that cross. He was laid to rest and he resuscitated. You never fear. You never fear. You don't fear anyone. But that's why I told you last time also, in everything you do, have character. Let your yes be yes. Let your no be no. Be truthful. Don't have like evil plans against people. Don't scheme against people because if you do that, it'll come back against you too. You know, because when God starts to work and do what he does, if you're found guilty, you'll pay. So you always got to make sure that your heart's clean, you're pure, and your hands are clean. You understand what I'm saying? But do not fear. But you, while you don't fear, it's like okay, you see this right here? Imagine like this is the rope of life, right? And imagine like people are kicking you. Your husband is kicking, not physically kicking. My husband doesn't hit me, you know. Like, but you see like the things he does, or like it may come as a blow to you, or like how come he's not supportive, and how come he's not encouraging me, and how come he doesn't want me to do YouTube, and how come he doesn't want me to start my business, and how come he doesn't want me to do this? How come? Oh my gosh, he's coming against me with his mama. Oh Jesus, here comes my mother-in-law. You see what I'm saying? Like all these things that are happening in your life as you navigate your way through womanhood and being a wife and being with your in-laws and school and all that good stuff and being a businesswoman and looking for, to start up your business and to establish your business. Like all of this is, baby girl, let me tell you something. When you decide to do something with your life, the devil's not going to like you. Point blank, period, and nothing you can do about it. But this right here, that's Jesus. You hear me? This right here is Jesus. You gotta hold on tight. This is how Africans we do it. You gotta hold on tight like this. You understand? So that way, when they're kicking you and hurting you and trying to, get you to be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give up. Oh my goodness, they're so strong. Because you got a firm grip on Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? You have a firm grip on Jesus. Like that lady in the Bible who was bleeding for 12 days. No, 12 years. Remember that? Jesus said, somebody touch my garment. That means the way she grabbed his garment, honey, he's like, dang, girl, what's your problem? You understand? So you want to do the same thing. You want to grab the hem of his garment like Jesus. If you take one more step, you're going to be undressed up in here real quick. Like, you don't want to be naked out here in these streets. Okay? So you got to hold on real, real, real tight. But don't give up. You don't give up on your dreams, Husband's like, well, you haven't cooked dinner yet. I haven't eaten yet. Whoop! You go this way. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, ladies, I'm going to tell you this. You got to do what King David did. Like, Marlene's crazy. Yes, honey. King David, for as strong as he was, he killed Goliath with his bare hands. He killed lions with his bare hands. He killed the bear, all that good stuff. King David ain't no punk. But, King David is pragmatic and he is realistic. Like, One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, five, six, ooh, 10 people. I'm by myself with just a stick. I can't fight. Let me run. King David ran. There are many instances where King David ran. He ran in front of Saul. He ran in front of his son. He ran at times. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like, oh, he could have gotten gangster, but he would have gotten killed because at that point, even by himself, he wasn't strong enough. So sometimes, even by yourself, you're not strong enough. So you gotta run. Sometimes, without certain education compared to your husband, you ain't strong enough. So you gotta run. Sometimes, you know, like in-laws coming against you, sister-in-law coming out. Especially, I got one sister-in-law, honey. She is, I call her the oracle of calamity. When she, like you, that girl, that child right there, she needs Jesus. You tell her one thing, by the time it leaves her mouth and it goes where it's supposed to go, when you hear it back, you say, oh, Lord, have mercy. Now, y'all need to pray for her to have a husband. Y'all really do, because she needs one. Yeah, and she needs something else also, but she needs a husband. She sure do need a husband. She need one real bad. You know, so when you have all of that, you just hold on to Jesus. You go this way, you hold on to Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? But you know Christ, and they don't. So at the end of the day, in the midnight hour, okay, when it's time for you to finally have that salvation that you need. You see, when you hold on to Jesus this tight, it leaves a mark, right? And that's your faith. Your faith leaves a mark on your relationship with Jesus, because the stronger your faith is, the stronger the wrinkles are going to be, right? Because you have faith. Like, nah, I can't. If I let this go, it's gone. I'm gone. You know. So you want to pray. You gotta know that you have God in you. Everything that happens to you happens for a reason. If you don't give up, you see, what I'm starting to realize today is that even when people think they're hurting you, even when people think they're planning against you, and when people think that, oh, we're going to do this and do that, da, 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 you know what I'm saying? What they fail to realize is that even, listen to me, come real good, even the steps of the wicked are ordained by God. When God tells Moses, go tell Pharaoh this, go tell Pharaoh that, go tell Pharaoh this, you know, and then he gonna be like, oh, Moses, how you doing? I was like, what's up, God? How you doing? He's like, you remember that Pharaoh, that crazy Pharaoh? He's like, yeah, man, listen, man, he's so deaf. He's like, well, you know, I made his heart kind of hard, so toughen up his heart so he wouldn't listen to you. If I was Moses, I'd be like, say what now? And what was the point of that? But when you really think about it, because even at first I was like, what was the point of that? Like, why would you make his heart hard? Because, you know, the son of Pharaoh ends up being stricken and he dies, you know? So you would think like, but why would you have done that? But my question to you, had God not sent, especially if you know Moses with his stuttering problem, his fear problem. That's why he always walked with Aaron, because he could not speak. He was so afraid to speak. He needed Aaron by his side to be able to say something, you know. So my question to you is, had God not made Pharaoh's heart so hard, and had he not sent Moses multiple times and doing all these miracles in front of Moses, do you seriously think Moses would have had enough faith to do what he did for them to part the Red Sea? Because you gotta remember, when that happens, these people have been in slavery for like 400 years. And plus. Ooh, 400 years plus, because the prophecy came and gone, honey. They were so complacent, you know? So sometimes, what I want to tell you, especially with my current situation, because it's been going on for a minute now, but still, I'm ready to talk about it now. But what I want to tell you is, what you have to remember is that the steps of the wicked, and wicked are people who come against you for no reason, because you are a child of God. The steps of people who are coming against you are ordained by God. That's my message tonight. The steps of the people who come against you are ordained by God. But if you give up, you won't know how strong of a woman you are. You understand what I'm saying? My in-laws have been the most wicked beings I have ever encountered in this nation, in the world, like in my life. They are wicked. They are wicked. Wicked to the core. You understand? Wicked. But have to remember this. The steps of the wicked are ordained by God. And sometimes, like, it looks crazy, it's confusing. You're like, oh my gosh, but why? Why? Because that's something that used to kill me, was like always trying to understand like why they were so mean, or like why people just want to be wicked for no reason, or just hurt other people for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And so, but then it finally dawned on me that people who are wicked are just wicked. They just do mean things because that's what they do. They don't know any better. Because if they knew better, they would do better. Misery loves company. And you have a lot of women, because their lives were hard, or because their relationship probably didn't end up the way they wanted to end up, so they want to see every other black woman around them suffer or struggle or have marital problems or have relationship problems. That's their goal, as opposed to, you know, making peace with the mistakes that they've made, the poor choices that they've made, and to say to themselves, you should go somewhere, to say to themselves, things happen in life. Things happen. There's no need to be bitter about it. There's no need to go out of my way to go hurt somebody else, you know. But if you, I don't know, I think this is my situation. If you find yourself in a situation where, compared to your sister-in-laws, mother-in-law, whatever, especially because that's something I've come to notice, that you are doing better than them, or you are more determined, or you're more focused, or you're more organized, or you're more like, you know what you want out of life, and you're not going to let any people envy that. People envy people who are motivated. People envy people who have determination. You know, you really have to get to a point where you feel like these people just need Jesus. Does that makes sense? Because then that used to like they used to get under my skin. Because I was like, why are they so evil? And how come my husband can't see it? But now I'm like, no, because the steps of the wicked. My mother-in-law did something back in 2012. I had to drop a class. This is actually one of the reasons why I'm behind the semester. Mm-hmm. Yes, girl. But that's good. That's all good. It's all good. Because at that moment I was like, what? But now I'm like, no, I'm not letting go. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you. So, yes, ladies, I think, for me, I'm all about people talking and ladies being open and empowering each other and uplifting each other. As I was talking to my sister last time, make sure you have friends and stuff, sister girls, like, that you can really talk to and that will listen to you. But my thing is, don't give up. I don't care who tells you to give up. I don't care who gets mad. I don't care who's sabotaging against you. Marlene said, don't you dare give up and live a life full of regrets. Don't give up. Don't give up. Because you don't even know. Men lose their jobs too. Your husband could lose his job one day. So if maybe God wants you to have an education, so that way the day he loses his job, you'll be able to pay the bills and you'll be able to provide insurance. Because in this country, many people work just for the benefits. Because of the children, especially. Like me, my son has asthma, so it is imperative for us to have insurance. We need to have health insurance because of the baby. So, but you never know. You never know. There are many, many women out here who have sent their husbands through law school, even medical school. They hold down everything financially. There was even this one guy in my math department. I remember I started the PhD program. His wife was going to be the one, like, she was going to be the only income, and he was going to be a full-time PhD student. Yeah, it happens now. The world has changed. But don't be like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with him, or oh, it's my husband. I don't want him to be with the girl. He'll be alright. And if you're afraid that y'all gonna get divorced, then offer your marriage as a living sacrifice unto God. Y'all be fine. But don't give up. You can't give up. My battery's about to die, so I got to go. You hear me? Don't give up. And it's when it comes to your if you are like in my situation where you have in-laws that are very mean, they're just so mean. Like, I'll give you another story. Like this Christmas season for the holidays, because there are 3 girls, his mom and 2 sisters in his family. So I bought them like these Michael Kors wallets and things, neon colors. So he goes there with the stuff, and then he comes back and he said, "Oh, my mom they liked it so much they were fighting over it because this sister wanted this color and this person wanted this color. But he came back empty-handed. So I asked my husband, does it not bother you that your mother will not get your wife, like she got you a present, she got our baby some presents, and she didn't get your wife any presents? Like, how do you, as like, I'm serious, ladies. I was like, how do you, as a man, how do you take that? And he said, well, she didn't think you were gonna get her any presents. So I said, oh, so at her age, no, you guys know, like, I'm like, I swear, being African, I swear, there's this type of behavior is stuff you see in the village. Like, this is how village people act. Like, oh, well, why should I say hi to you because you didn't say hi to me? Like, this is, educated people do not conduct themselves this way. I'm serious. I said, oh, she's almost like near 60. I'm like, so at her age, she's into like, oh, I'm 29 years old. You could give me life over like maybe 2 times. You can give me life, maybe more, depending on how young you want to get pregnant. You understand what I'm saying? And you're gonna say you love my son. You're gonna buy my son gift and my husband gift, but you don't even have enough decency or enough respect for my son to be like, you know what? That's my grandbaby. And even whether I like his mom or not, she's still late because she knows what it's like because she has 3 kids herself. So she knows what it's like to lay her life down to give birth to a child. Ladies, when you lay your life, you could die giving birth. And it's like, I gave you, and sometimes I sound like they like to use my son as a Holocaust piece. I'm serious, you guys. It's like, it's some weird stuff going on here. And I'm just kind of like, because I know somebody must be going through, because I've been talking about this, you know. But me, Marlene, you guys, if my son ever got pregnant, I don't care whether I liked the wife, didn't like the wife. Christmas time, the birth of Jesus was not really, but still, it's a time to share whatever. I'm gonna get my grandbaby a gift. I'm not gonna get my granddaughter, my daughter-in-law a gift. Why? Because her and I sometimes she's still compared to where I will be in age. She's still a child. I cannot stoop down to it. This is me. I'm gonna stoop down to a child's level and be petty when it comes to gifts. The things I have seen with my eyes in this country they call America, Abby. Abby, I've never seen this. These people, they say they're educated, Abby. Savages. I'm sorry. You guys, I was in shock. Like, huh? But she was fighting over my Michael Kors bag. That's why the Bible says, bless your enemies. Ladies, bless your enemies. Bless them. Michael Kors, throw at them. Prada, throw. Gucci, throw. Chanel, throw. Because all of that will come back to you a millionfold. You hear me? Don't give up. Don't give up. In your marriage, do not give up. They will not dethrone you from your throne. I mean, people who want to come against you will be on your, they will lay down. You're going to walk on their heads. You understand me? They will be down here. You will be up here. You know, I got to speak real quick, y'all. And God will open their eyes like this for them to see your success. You understand? They will see your success. And they will count your years of marriage. They will count year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. What God put together, let no man asunder. Do not budge. But like I said, you don't give up on your education. But you don't budge. You don't move. Exactly. They will die of jealousy and have a quarter right here. Like this. Yes, honey. Go sit down somewhere. You know, I tell you, man. I've seen some. Oh, man. Girl, I gotta go.